So good day everyone. So my name is John Michael Chavez. I'm the group leader of Group 4. So are we going to tackle about cybersecurity threats on the internet? So now introduction. The advantage of computer technology has a significant impact society, making data handling easier but also increase vulnerability to cyber threats. So for now, our society is can be moved easier or can communicate easier by using the technology, but also we're going to avoid the threats on our society, like scam, virus, or link that can be hacked that or hack your computer. So cybersecurity is concerned with making cyberspace safe for cyber threat. That notion of cyber threats is rather vague or implies that malicious use of information and communication technology (ICT) either as a target or a tool by a wide range of malevolent actors. So cybersecurity, this is to be protect. And also, for example, I have a post on social media and somebody's send a emoji like knife. Cybersecurity is going to protect my dignity and ban that account that who comment that on that way, because the knife is going sample as a threat on me. So cybersecurity is going to ban because she detect that the language of that emoji is threat for myself. So cybersecurity, as a common use to the term cybersecurity, refers to three things: a set of activities and other measures, technical and non-technical, intended to protect computers, computer network, and related hardware and software, include data and information as well as other elements of cyberspace. From all threats include threats to international security. So cybersecurity refers to on data. For example, we have computer, cell phone, so tablet, laptop, like that. So if you have for example, me, that last time I have an account that I comment on somebody, like I said suntukin kita, like that. So my account is banned on 6 days for that, because cybersecurity work, because I threaten that the person, but that person is my friend, so is also as a joke. But the cybersecurity is not going to tolerate that as because that the person is your friend. Who cares? Because threats is also a threat, because cybersecurity don't know that that's your friend. Oh, that's why he banned my account, because I threatened somebody. That's cybersecurity works. And also, if someone is going negative way or sent you a link, cybersecurity is avoid that to show to your screen or to click, because it's going to destroy your system. That's why our cell phone or tablet have a kid mode, because kid is, if somebody is going to send you a link, a kid is going to click the message. That's why cybersecurity is protecting your computers and hardware, software, include data, and also your information. Because if cybersecurity is not going to work, somebody can open your Facebook or Messenger, your email. So cybersecurity protect that the owner itself is going to open his system, not other one. If no cybersecurity involved nowadays, somebody can open our information, data, like Facebook. Anyone can open, but cybersecurity is going to protect now. That's why us ourselves can open our data. That's the work of cybersecurity. So next, cybersecurity has a degree protection resulting from the application of those activity and measure. The associated field of professional in Bureau include research and analysis directly or implementing those activities in improving their quality. So cybersecurity have a limitation. For example, you and your friend is communicating on the post or comment on somebody that threatening their lives. Cybersecurity is going to work or warning you or ban your accounts, because that activities that you include that on the comment section is threats on somebody. That's why the sample of I give the example of that last topic. So if your limitation or your comment is positive, cybersecurity is not going to give you warning or a ban. But if your activities is threatening, you're not act up as a professional, so cybersecurity is going to act, have a action to ban your account, or that account is not going to be open forever. So next is security threats, attacks, exposure, and vulnerability. So that topic is going to explain by my group, Ben Mauni. So that's all. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is Ben Harty Maoni from BTVTED Drafting Technology. Today I'm going to discuss about the vulnerability, exposure, threats, and attacks. So first is vulnerability. It is a cybersecurity terms that refers to a defect or weakness present in a system itself that allows information security to be exposed to a threats or attack. So vulnerability, it is a cybersecurity that refers to defect or kahinaan sa mismong system na maaring magdulot ng danger to security information. So dahil sa kahinaan ito, nagiging bukas ang system sa mga banta or possible attack ng mga masasamang loob sa internet like mga hackers. So vulnerability, it is a encryption of weakness of system. Dahil dito pwedeng ma-intercept ng isang attacker ang mga credentials with the use of man in the middle. Attack while naglalagin ang user. So like example, sa isang company, so we all know that companies have a website na may login page para sa mga empleyado, but ang login page na yun ay hindi gumagamit ng encryption or HTTPS. Kaya ang mga information gaya ng username at password ay pinadala sa internet as a plain text. So, and kung nakuha ng attacker ang username at password, so maaaring makapasok sa system of company and pwede siyang magnakaw or sirain and sensitive information dun. Next is the exposure. Exposure is a non-universal vulnerability, a set of information that allows attacker to conduct information gathering activities or to hide activities. Such exposure raises that possibility that an attacker might capture the device, extract cryptographic secrets, modify their programming, or replace them with malicious device under the control of the attacker. So, exposure is a type of vulnerability na hindi siya always umiiral sa mga system, pero maaari siyang matagpuan sa particular na device or system. Because of this, nagkaroon ng pagkakataon ang isang attacker na gumawa ng information na hindi nalalaman at hindi ito napapansin. So, ito ang possible na magagawa ng exposure. Number 1 is pwedeng makakuha ng attacker ang device. Number 2 is pwede rin silang makakuha ng sensitive information like cryptographic secret, like example is encryption key. Number 3 is pwedeng baguhin ang software or programming ng device. Number 4 is pwedeng palitan ang device ng isang malicious. When we say malicious is mapanira. So, yung device na nasa control na ng attacker. So, meaning to say, ang exposure ay isang bukas na pinto para sa mga attacker para makaspy or kontrolin ang system na hindi nahahalata. Like examples, sa isang company, ang gumagamit ng mga smart device like CCTV cameras na may kakayang kumukonekta sa internet, but the other device na hindi regular na update ng kanilang mga firmware or software ng device, kaya nananatili itong may old system like exposure. Now, nagkaroon ng access ang attacker sa mga sensitive place sa company, ay maaari niyang gamitin ang nakuhang information para mas marami pa siyang ma-attack, like pagnanakaw ng data or physical na pagpasok sa office, like gamit ang kanyang security. Next is the threat. Threats is a malicious act that aims to corrupt or steal data or disrupt an organization system or the entire organization. Threats can be derived from two primary sources, human and nature. Like examples of commonly recognized cyber aggressors include cyber terrorists, cyber spies, cyber thieves, and cyber warriors. And the last is cyber hacktivists. So, ang threats is a malicious na pwedeng sirain or nakawin ang data or the system or organization. So, pwede ito manggaling sa tao or sa human threats, kagaya ng mga hackers, disgruntled employees o mga taong may masamang intensyon na umaatake sa system. So, next is the natural threats like lindol, baha, bagyo, or sunog na maaring makasira sa physical na infrastructure na system at mag-result sa pagkawala ng data or pagkinto ng operation. Like for example, sa human threats, so may isang empleyado na na-terminate ay may access pa rin sa internet system ng company. So dahil sa galit, sinubukan niyang i-delete ang mga important files sa company at mag-upload ng malware system. So next is example for natural threats is nagkaroon ng malakas na bagyo at bumaha sa server room ng hospital. Then dahil dito nasira ang mga physical na server kung saan nandun ang mga medical records ng pasyente. Then threats is a natural threats because the danger ay nagmula sa nature at nagdulot ito ng masasama sa serbisyo or hospital, and pwedeng possibility ang pagkawala ng sensitive data. So threats is a commonly recognized by the cyber aggressors including the cyber terrorists, cyber spies, cyber thieves, and the cyber warriors, and the last is cyber hacktivists. So first is cyber aggressors. So cyber aggressors, ito ay tumutukoy sa mga tao or sa group na gumagamit ng technology or internet para mapanakit or manggulo or manira. Involved na dito ang mga hacker, scammer, o yung mga gumagamit ng online platforms para sa kasamaan. So, ito yung mga possibility na pwedeng nilang gawin. First is mag-hack ng computer system. 2 is paghaharas or cyberbullying. 3 is pang-share ng maling information or fake news. 4 is pagnakaw ng information, identity theft, or phishing. Number 5 is pagkalat ng virus or malware. So, what is cyber aggressors? Ito ay mga taong nananakit o nang-aabuso gamit ang internet or any kind of technology. Ginagamit nila ito para manggulo, manakot, magnakaw ng information, or pwede rin sirain ang reputation ng tao through online. Cyber terrorists. Ito ay isang group na gumagamit ng internet or technology para manakot or manggulo or magsagawa ng terrorist sa pamamagitan ng cyberspace. So, ang purpose nila ay magdulot ng takot, kaguluhan, or pinsala sa mga tao or sa organization by the use of cyber attack, just like pagwasak ng mga computer systems ng government, paghahak sa mga critical infrastructure tulad ng kuryente, tubig or sa hospital, pagkalat ng takot gamit ang maling information or pagbabanta through online. So, next is cyber spies. Ito ay ang mga taong group na palihim na nag-iipon ng information mula sa mga computer system, websites, or online accounts ng ibang tao, organization, or sa mga banda ng walang panginggulo, at karaniwan ito ay ginagawa sa mga espionage or espiya. Kadalasan ito ay ginagawa sa mga political or militar. Like example, so isang cyber spy ang pwedeng mag-hack ng military files ng isang bansa para makakuha ng secret tungkol sa mga armas or plano ng mga militar or mga depensa. Next is the cyber thieves. So, ito naman ay taong bihasa sa cyber technology at gumagamit ito ng panangga or panlaban sa mga online or banta, lalo na sa cyber security at cyber warfare. Most of all, sila ay nagtatrabaho para sa government or militar to protect the country laban sa cyber attack mula sa ibang bansa or group. Like for example, kapag mga may foreigner hacker na sumasabak sirain ang system ng isang bansa, so ang mga cyber warriors ang kumikilos para pigilan yon at ayusin ang pinsala. Next is the cyber hacktivists. Ito ay isang group na gumagamit ng hacking para ipaglaban ang kanilang paniniwala or advocacy, like politics, nature, or karapatang pantao at iba pa. Like example, no, hindi sila laging masasama, but it is a illegal pa rin ang karamihan sa kanilang ginagawa dahil lumalabag ito sa batas. The last one is attack. So, attack are action taken or harm a system or disrupt normal operation by exploiting vulnerabilities using various techniques and tools. Attackers launch attack to achieve goals, either for personal satisfaction or recompense. Some common cyber attack are physical access, denial of service, reconnaissance, and cyber and so on. So, attack, it refers to the action na ginagawa para sirain ang isang system or hadlangan ang normal nitong operation sa pamamagitan ng kahinaan or vulnerability gamit ang iba't ibang technique or kagamitan. So, ang mga uma-attack or attackers ay gumagawa ng ganitong mga action para makamit ang kanilang gusto or purpose. So, pwede rin para sa kanilang kasiyahan. So, ang pwede nilang magagawa is physical access, pagpasok or pagkuha ng physical na control ng isang device or system. So, next is the denial or service or DOS, pagbagsak ng isang system sa pamamagitan ng sobrang traffic. Next is reconnaissance, palihim na pag-spy or pagsiyasat sa isang system para alam ang kahinaan nito. Last is the cybercrime. Anuman uri ng krimen gamit ang technology, gaya ng pagnanakaw ng information or panlilinlang through online and etc. That's all. Thank you.
I am Grace Alcaide. I am the next reporter, and I am going to discuss the types of cyber threats. The task of keeping up with new technologies, security threats, and threat intelligence is challenging but must be performed. Means that learning about and adapting to the ever-changing landscape of technology, security threats, and how attackers are using them, or threat intelligence, is a difficult but essential task for anyone involved in cybersecurity. It highlights the need to constantly stay updated and proactive in order to protect information and systems. In order to protect information and other assets from cyber threats, the following forms of threats are analyzed. Ransomware. When we say ransomware, a type of malware that encrypts files, making them inaccessible and demands a ransom payment for their description. This is a common cybersecurity threat where hackers lock a user data, demand ransom for its release. When we say ransom, the payment demanded by the attacker to unlock the victim's encrypted data. Next is malware or malicious software. Covers any file or program introduced into the target's computer with the intent of cause damage or gain unauthorized access. Malware refers to any program or code designed to harm a computer, system, or network or to gain unauthorized access to it. There are many types of malware, including viruses, spyware, worms, ransomware, Trojan horses, and keyloggers, to name a few. Trojan horses appear legitimate but contain malicious code that can give attackers access to a system. Keyloggers, these record keystrokes allowing attackers to steal password, credit card details, and other sensitive information. Next is social engineering. It's a technique used by criminals to manipulate individuals into revealing confidential information or performing action that compromise security, often through psychological manipulations or by exploiting human trust. It's about tricking people rather than exploiting technical vulnerabilities. For example, this include pretending to be someone trustworthy. Example, an IT support or a bank representative to gain trust and extract information using urgency or fear to pressure victims into acting quickly or dangling tempting offers to lure people into downloads or sharing information.
So, phishing is a type of fraud where fraudulent emails are sent to resemble emails from reputable source. However, the intention of these emails is to steal sensitive data, such as credit card or login information. So, the top 9 cybersecurity threats, risks of 2019 and their solution. So under human nature recommended solutions, keeping strong firewalls and antivirus solutions in place is not enough. Rather, companies should use the service of an in-house or third-party cybersecurity operations center or CSOC to stave off these types of cybersecurity threats for both their overall organizational cybersecurity and their websites. In our conclusion, like a sniper, the most dangerous cybersecurity threats are the ones who never see coming. As the cybersecurity threats continues to evolve and become more sophisticated, enterprises IT must remain vigilant when it comes to protecting their data and networks.
Good day, everyone. Today, let's talk about the cybersecurity threats, risks of 2019 and their solutions. But before that, my name is Jason Elgantaan from BTVTED Automotive 3C. So let's talk about the cybersecurity threats. So I have two cybersecurity threats, risks of 2019 and their solutions. One of them is the various form of malware. Malware is any software intentionally designed to cause damage to the computer, server, clients, or computer network. So malware, cybersecurity threats as malicious software or unwanted software. These malicious software include backdoor, downloader, spyware, trojans, worm, and macroviruses. So the backdoor. It refers to the type of malicious software that create a hidden entry points or the vulnerability in a system. So it allowing attackers to remoting access, steal sensitive information, and execute malicious command. So the next is the downloader. So it refers to a type of malicious software that downloads and install additionally malware or malicious components of the compromised system. So the next is the spyware. It is a type of malware that secretly monitor and collect sensitive information about user or their device, often without consent. No? It can track online activity, steal personal data, capture keystroke, and monitor device activity. The next is the Trojan. Are types of malware that disguises itself or legitimate software. So, but actually allow attack to access and control system, steal sensitive information, is install additional malware. So the next is the worms. Self-replicate. Spread from system to system without user interactions. So the consumer system resources use CPU, memory, and network resources. So it can cause damage, delete, modified, or steal files. The next is the macroviruses. When you say the macroviruses, no, it is the ended on in document, typically in Microsoft, Office, files, or even the Words or Excel. Use macro code, execute malicious code when the document is open. So on the various form of malware, we have a top 10 malware. We have Zwes, Cobter, Redex, Nanocore, CryptoWall, Ghost, CoinMiner, Tripbot, Earthsniff, and the last is Bifrost. So when you say the Zwes it is a type of Trojan horse malware that steals sensitive information, particularly in banking, credential, and financial data. So the Zwes is known as the Z-Boat, was the first identified in 2007 and has been widely used in cyber attack to compromise online banking system and steal user data. So the next is the Cobter. So the Cobter is the primary engage a click fraud and the malicious activity. It is known as the ability to generate fake click on ads to earn revenue for attacker, and the hijack system for malicious purpose and potential engagement in other malicious activity that the ransomware or data theft. The next is the 3DEX. So when you say the 3DEX, it is a type of malware specifically in banking Trojans. So that target financial institution and steal sensitive information such as the login credential. So in the login credential, we have the capture username, password, or even the authentical details. So in the 3DEX, we have the financial data. So on the financial data, we have the steal information related to the online banking like credit card or the financial transactions. So the next is the nanocore. So the nanocore, it is a type of remote access trojans. So when you say the nanocore, it is the malware allows to attack to remote control and manipulate infected system. So the next is the CryptoWall. So the CryptoWall, it is a type of ransomware that encrypt files on affected system. So damaging payment, usually in cryptocurrency. So in an exchange for the description key, like it can be scripted files, demand reason, demand ransom, and cause data loss. So the next is the ghost. So when you say the ghost, it refers to the various type of malicious software. So or the techniques that can be designed to be still abrasive. So or difficult to detect. So for example on that is the ghost malware. So the ghost malware is the remain hidden or demand or dormant, making it challenging to detect. So the next is the coin miner. So when you say the coin miner, it is known as the cryptocurrency mining malware. So it refers the malicious software that hijack a device processing power to mine cryptocurrencies without the user consent. So the top 8 is the TrickBot. So when you say the TrickBot, it is a type of malware specifically in banking Trojan. So that target financial institution and steal sensitive informations. The top 9 is the ORSNIP. When you say the ORSNIP, it is known as a GOSI. When you say the GOSI, it is a type of malware, specifically in banking Trojan. The target financial institution, such as the login credential, username, password, and your detail. So we have here on the gossip, we have the financial data like online banking, credit card, and your financial transactions. So the top 10 malware, we have the Bistros. So the Bistros it is a type of malware specifically in the backdoor Trojan. So it is allow the attackers to remotely access and control effective system or the affected system. So that is the top 10 malware on the various form of malware.
So, for the various form of malware, we have the recommended situations. We have 4 recommended situations. So, the number 1 is the use of limited user access and application privilege right. Then the number 2 is the usage is reputable antivirus and anti-malware solutions, email, spam filter, and endpoint security measures. So the number 3 is to ensure that your cybersecurity is always updated and patches are all up to date. So the number 4 is the ensure that your employee is undergo regular. So that the cybersecurity is awareness to training in order to avoid suspicious email and website. So the number 2 for our cybersecurity threats list of 2019 and their solution is we have the number 2, the different types of phishing attackers and social engineering. So when you say the different type of phishing attackers, it is the phishing, it is fraudulent to elicit sensitive information from a victim in order to perform some type of these actions. So we have the gaining access to a network or account. So when you say the network is the compromising network security to access sensitive data. And when you say the account is to stealing login credential to access personal or financial informations. So here the attackers uses is phishing to like steal credential. Under the steal credential, we have this will be involved the login information or your password. We have also the install malware. Under the install malware, we have this is the gain remote access or control your personal information or your personal account. So we have also the access sensitive data. So under the access sensitive data, we have the financial, we have the personal or even the confidential informations. So the next is the gaining access to data. So when you say the gaining access to data, so without the authorized access of the attackers in trying to get your informations, your personal information they're trying to get, this is the gaining access to data. So for the different types of phishing attacker or in the social engineering, we have the recommended situations. We have the 6 recommended situations. One of that is the implementation of cybersecurity awareness training for every employee across on board. So the number 2 is the use of the reliable email and spam filter. So the next is the use of email encryption and email signing certificate. So the next is the emphasize to importance of phishing reporting. So the next is the running of random phishing simulations. The last is the use of the HTTPS on your website to create secure encrypted connections.
Good day everyone, my name is Joby Grace B. Quijano from BTVT Drafting Technology 3C. I will be going to discuss about the cybersecurity threats on the internet and the possible solution. So first is the different types of phishing attacks and social engineering. Phishing is a fraudulent attempt to elicit sensitive information from a victim in order to perform some type of action, gain access to a network or accounts, gain access to data, get the victim to perform an action such as a wire transfer, and so on. So phishing attacks, it is a common type of cyber attack that targets individuals through email, text messages, phone calls, and other forms of communication. So ito ay isang scam wherein the person or the hacker ay nagpapanggap na totoong tao gamit yung emails, text, or website. So the purpose of the hacker is to get personal information of their target or victims like mga passwords, yung credit cards, numbers, and or pwede rin yung bank details ng kanilang victims. Like for example, may na-receive kang email na parang galing sa bangko mo. So, sinasabi nila na may problem doon sa account mo at kailangan mong mag-click ng link para ayusin ito. So, pag-click mo ng link, mapupunta ka doon sa fake na website na parang totoo rin. Doon, hihingin nila ang login information mo, pero scam pala yun at gagamitin yun para ma-access ang totoo mong account. These are the several things that you can do to ward off cybersecurity threats. First is the implementation of cybersecurity awareness training for every employee across board. It is crucial for any organization to mitigate risk and protect valuable data. Especially sa mga employee, tinuturo sa kanila kung paano malaman ang mga ito at para din na maiwasan nila ang ganitong mga cyber threats. Then the second is the use of reliable email and spam filters. So are also crucial for protecting individuals and organizations from unwanted emails, phishing attempts, and malicious content. So nagagamit ito sa pamamagitan ng pagsusuri sa pumapasok na mga messages at dun sa spam wherein pwede siyang i-block. The next is the use of email encryption and email signing certificates. Enhance email security by ensuring confidentiality and verifying authenticity. The encryption protects the message contents. So, ginagawa dito ay hindi siya basta-bastang nababasa ng mga unauthorized individuals. While ang signing naman, it verifies the sender's identity and confirms the messages has not been tampered with or hindi siya basta-basta napapakialaman. Then the next is emphasize the importance of phishing reporting. So it helps identify and mitigate risks associated with phishing attempts. By reporting phishing attempts, you help protect your own sensitive information and also help prevent others from falling victim to. Then the running of random phishing simulations. An organization can send realistic phishing email to their employee para malaman yung kanilang kaalaman at kung anong gagawin sa mga phishing email kapag natanggap nila ito. Then the next is the use of HTTPS or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure on your website to create secure encrypted connections. This encryption ensures that sensitive data such as login credentials or financial information is protected during transmission. Then the last is provision of two-factor authentication. It adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to verify their identity using two different methods, not just a password. So, yung first factor dito is the users enter their username and passwords. Then, yung second factor naman is usually yung code na sinesend to their phones. Then, the second is the form jacking. Form jacking is a type of cybersecurity threat that involves a cybercriminal taking over forms on websites by exploiting their security weaknesses. In form jacking, this allows attackers to capture sensitive data like credit card details as users enter it into online forms. Form jacking is particularly dangerous because it operates entirely on the client side, making it difficult to detect and leaving no trace on the server. These are some ways that you can prevent form jacking. These include First is the running of vulnerability scanning and penetration testing will help to identify any weaknesses in your cybersecurity defenses. Vulnerability scanning identifies known vulnerabilities, while penetration testing simulates attacks to exploit those weaknesses and assess their impact. Monitoring outbound traffic from one website to another is crucial for security and website performance. It involves tracking data leaving your website, which can be done using tools like Google Analytics and firewall rules. This monitoring helps identify potential data breaches, compromised systems, or unusual activity. Then the last one is using sub-resource integrity or SRI tags to ensure that files used by web applications and documents do not contain unexpected, manipulated content using hashing. Sub-resource integrity or SRI ensures that resources like JavaScript and CSS files fetched from third-party resources are delivered without unexpected modifications. It works by using cryptographic hashes to verify the integrity of the downloaded files. And then the third one is inadequate patch management. Inadequate patch management is a process which leaves gaping holes in your IT security infrastructure. Preferably, patching should be implemented as soon as vulnerability is detected because they leave your organization at risk of cyber attacks, lead to remediation which can lead to downtime, cause reputational harm, and make you non-compliant with many industry and regulatory cybersecurity standards. Inadequate patch management refers to the failure to apply necessary software updates or patches to systems, leading to vulnerabilities that can be exploited by attackers. This can result in data breaches, system instability, and operational disruptions. So these are some of the ways that you prevent an inadequate patch management. Include the first is making patch management a priority and not optional. By making patch management a priority and not optional, requires establishing a comprehensive policy, prioritizing vulnerabilities based on risk, and implementing a robust patching process. This involves regular vulnerability scanning, assigning priority levels to patches, and ensuring timely deployment of updates. Then the second one is provision of effective patch management is essential to your business and the security of your customers' data. Effective patch management is crucial for business to secure their IT infrastructure and protect customer data by mitigating cybersecurity risk. By applying security patches to software and systems, businesses can address vulnerabilities that hackers might exploit to launch attacks, potentially causing downtime and data breaches. The third one is developing and implementing effective patch management policies and procedures will help to reduce the attack surface of your organization's stolen data. Developing and implementing effective patch management policies and procedures is crucial for reducing an organization's attack surface and preventing data breaches. Patch management helps close security vulnerabilities that cybercriminals would exploit, making it harder for them to gain unauthorized access to systems. And then the last one is patching these vulnerabilities in real time through automation makes your cybersecurity more effective. Automating vulnerability patching in real time significantly enhances cybersecurity. It reduces the window of opportunity for attackers by rapidly deploying fixes, minimizes human error, and allows security teams to focus on more strategic tasks according to various sources. And that's all my topic about the cybersecurity threats on the internet and public solutions.
Outdated hardware and software. Software is keep your system and software up to date. Will prevent hacker from hacking your information. So now you regular updates, fix bug and security flaws that hacker can use to access your information, staying updated and help protect your data. For example, this is if you don't update your antivirus software, it may not detect new viruses, and allowing hacker to steal your personal files or your personal information in your computer, like your password and etc. So when a manufacturer releases an update, it is necessary to apply it immediately in order to remain secure and out of the reach of cyber criminals. Software update often include security patches that fix vulnerabilities. Delaying updates give hacker a chance to exploit those weaknesses. So example, if you ignore a security update for your web browser, hackers could use the outdated version to install malware when you visit unsafe websites. Internet of Things insecurities. IoT devices are vulnerable due to weak security measures. So IoT devices are vulnerable due to work security measures. Many that devices comes with simple or default security settings that hacker can easily bypass. So second is to recommended solution. Some of the way that you can protect your LAT or IoT security threats. These include so recommended solution. Some of the ways that you can protect your IoT security threats. You can improve security by changing default password, updating device software, and using secure Wi-Fi networks software and using antenna. So example, this is update your smart speaker firmware, help fix bugs and prevent hacking. So next is the third is the use of IoT digital security certificates as part of your PKI infrastructure to facilitate encrypted connections. So the use of IoT digital security certificates as part of your PKI infrastructure to facilitate encrypted connections. So digital certificates help secure communication between IoT devices by encrypting data and verifying device identity. For example, this is a smart lock using a digital certificate and secures only trusted devices can connect and send commands. So fourth is securing your devices, protecting data and privacy is by securing your IoT or your Internet of Things. So securing your devices, protecting data and privacy is by securing your IoT. So properly securing IoT devices protect your personal data and prevent cyber intrusions into your home and network. Last one is to identify and vulnerabilities and potential liabilities. So to identify vulnerabilities and potential liabilities, regular security checks can reveal weaknesses for hacker exploit them, reducing your risk. So man in the middle attacks. Attackers intercept communication between two parties. Attackers intercept communication between two parties. So example, this is on public Wi-Fi. A hacker could intercept login details when someone signs into their email. So second is recommended solution. Some of the best way to help protect your company, customers, and website from man-in-the-middle attackers include use secure connection or HTTPS, strong encryption, VPNs, and avoid public Wi-Fi for sensitive transactions. The third is using HTTPS on your websites is actually required by major browsers such as Google, Chrome, Firefox, and so on. HTTPS or encrypts data sent between your browser and the website. so prevent attackers from reading or modifying it. Using HTTPS on your website by installing SSL or LTS certificate. So HTTPS enabled by an SSL and TLS certificate encrypts data between your website and the user browser, protecting it from being intercepted. For example, a banking website uses HTTPS so that users' account information and transaction can be stolen by hackers. So next is using virtual private network or VPNs on public Wi-Fi can help increase security and create secure encrypted connections. So a VPN encrypts your internet traffic, making it difficult for attackers on public Wi-Fi to spy on your online activity. For example, this is when you're using a VPN at a coffee shop, your login credential stay protected even if someone is trying to intercept the connections. Poor digital certificate management. Digital certificate management or ACM allows you to manage digital certificates for your network and use transport layer security or TLS to enable secure communication for many applications. Expired SSL certificates is a form of cybersecurity threat that one should be mindful of on the internet. Certificate expires can happen to any website or business if they are not careful. So full digital certificate management occurs when SSL or TLS certificates which ensure securing communication are not properly monitored or updated. Expired certificates can leave a network vulnerable to cyber attacks as they may lead to insecure connections. For example, if a website or SSL certificate expired, visitors may receive warning message and attackers could intercept sensitive data. Regular monitoring and renewal of certificates prevent such vulnerabilities. Next is recommended solutions. Some of the ways you can prevent poor digital certificate management or include having a few SSL certificates and their corresponding PKI or infrastructure will help facilitate encrypted connections. So to prevent poor certificates management, it is recommended to streamline the process by using a limited number of SSL certificate along with their corresponding public key infrastructure or PKI. This makes certificate management more efficient, ensuring easier tracking, renewal, and security. Using Sectigo Certificate Manager, formerly Komodo, CA Certificate Manager is a solution that helps you to mitigate certificate expiry issues by automating rapid certificate renewals, installations, and revocations. So using Sectigo Certificate Manager helps automated the management of SSL certificates, addressing certificate expiry issues by streamlining renewals, installations, and revocations. This ensures certificates are always up to date and secure, reducing the risk of expired certificates causing security breaches. So, for example, a company can set up Sectigo Certificate Manager to automatically renew and install SSL certificates across all their web applications, preventing manual errors and ensuring continuous encrypted communications.
So to do that, they have first to understand the types of security threats are up against, having identified and understand in the clear terms the various cyber threats to cybersecurity. Caution, it is a watchword for whoever is on that. Nevertheless, cybersecurity is a potentially under the mercy of some common factors explained in this journal of articles.